Welcome to Biggest Geek Us. We are your hosts. I'm Randy.
And I'm Joe.
This is episode 147 of the show, and the date is Tuesday, July 11th, 2023.
Yes,
How,
it is.
how you doing, sir?
All right. Had one of my dogs die yesterday.
Oh, that's horrible. I know. That's horrible. That's the suckitude. And you've had him for what? 10, 11 years? More than 14 years.
14
Yep.
years. Almost 15. Almost. A couple months shy of 15.
Oh, wow.
I want to show a picture of him.
Yeah, do that. He was a good puppy. I'm sure you are. I believe you're really going to do it.
So the doggy that's in the foreground, his name's Mars. He's been battling cancer for the last, I don't know how many years, one way or another.
Mhm.
And he was free of cancer for a while, and then it kind of all creeped up on him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Who's left of the original pack?
none of them.
Oh, man.
They're all they have all passed. Many of them by cancer, because both I think pit bulls like him are. That's one of the things they're susceptible to is cancer.
Oh, boy.
And both parents died of some kind of cancer.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I guess I may have to watch out for that with my dog. It's a bummer. Yep. He's a good boy. He was a talker, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You go in the house, he's like, rah, rah. Not kind of different than his dad, but he was definitely a chatty boy.
Right.
His dad was hilarious the way he talked. Rah, 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 rah,
Mm-hmm.
all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
He was funny. Bruce says, Joe, you're not living too close to Camp Lejeune, are you?
Not that I know of.
I don't know.
Is it in Michigan? I
I don't know. That sounds
don't know
wrong.
where Camp Lejeune is at.
I feel like I should. That sounds familiar. But Bruce is, he said his friends that were there never had their dogs make it to middle age. Flint was rough on them. Oh, it's near Flint. Okay.
Oh, Flint. Depending on when all this happened, with the water and whatnot.
Yeah. Democrats.
And probably the air and being, closer to Detroit. Closer you get to Detroit, the worse your life is in general.
Yeah. We've got quite a crowd. Ryan, David, Bruce, of course. David Gwill, Jack the 71st, hello. Mr. Boivan, hello. Martinson, of course. Halcyon H. Who else did I miss somebody? Legion. Can't forget him, Legion of Myth. Arn Man, good crowd. Green Apple, Darth. Giving them all the shout outs, Joe. Sweet.
Yes.
So I think I got almost everybody. Maybe I missed somebody. Lady One is just listening, but that's okay. He might show up to be a part of this awesomeness. So Gary D20, shaking bacon. So listen to your podcast, Ryan. I got something to say about that. Not really, just something about your one topic. So you may hear me do a little. No, we'll get to it. We'll get to it pretty quick. So you didn't get to game this week, or did you? Because I did. Did you game this weekend at all? Joseph, did you guys game over the weekend?
We gamed. No. That was the game we played last time, right? As we talked about it last week. Did we get to talk about it last week? Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
I think we did. Yeah, Hyperborea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Inappropriate characters, welcome. I don't know if you're from the show Inappropriate Characters. Who does that? That's Pundit and who's the other? Venger. Yeah, good old Venger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let it out today, dude. I'm going to lay it all out there. But I played this weekend. I got Savage Worlds in. I ran another Earth X scenario, only about 3 hours. We made some, we didn't really make Starfinder characters. That's the next world we're going to be jumping to. I've talked a little bit about this campaign. I use Savage Worlds as the base rules, and then we branch out kind of Quantum Leap style to all these other game settings and game rules, and we just kind of loosely interpret characters from one to the other. Really don't do any translating at all. So we have kind of a meta plot in the Savage World setting, kind of a futuristic Earth, and we played that. It was kind of cool. They had a good scenario. I had a new player, well, an old player had been gone for a while, so I had his character captured by the bad guys. He started out captured. It was quite fun. He loved it.
Oh, that's always a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the guy, that's exactly what I want to happen. But
Yes, please have me in prison to start with. I want to be buck naked.
Yeah.
In a jail cell
Mm-hmm.
in manacles.
Right, and so that's how I began.
First level.
I did worse than that. I had him under the spell of a concoction made of ghost rock for you Deadlands fans, and for the spice from Dune. He was under a medical thing, and he was being forced into certain things. Oh, Ryan David's starting it already. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. That's exactly what I'm going to go off on. But it was fun. So we had fun. They saved him and saved the day, but they had to flee at the end. But that's pretty cool. It's interesting to play in a world where half the characters are not really fighter types. We had 3 PhD professor types in the game. Their characters are that. And, Jeff, they're like, the other guys who are kind of fighty kind of guys, they go, we're going to break in here and do this. And he goes, have fun with that. I'm going to hang out in the van. So
you use ghost rock and
spice mixed into a deadly concoction to control this professor of genetics. They were trying to get him to do some really evil, bad stuff, and he was sort of under their control. So it was fun.
I haven't read all the prequel novels
yeah.
for Dune, but throughout the original 5-book set, they did some weird stuff with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But the Dune thing was, but it looks like Cal says he saw my flooring. Yeah, I posted that on Facebook. Both rooms are now done. Now you can't really see. Let me kind of move my stuff around. So I still got piles of crap in this room, and I'm going to be podcasting from the other room probably at the end of the summer. At the end of the month, probably. We'll be switching the rooms. So it looks like Bruce is playing the game of the bare necessities, so I think he knows what's coming. So yeah, it's the thing. But so anyway, I had a good time. It was a short session, but a fun session. So
well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So we anything else before we jump into it's not really it's kind of a segment. I'm talking about the next segment. We'll get to that, but before we jump into our first segment, something you want to talk about, Joe?
Yeah, we didn't game any. Mars has had a really bad weekend, so we stuck close to home. So, no, I think that's it. That's it from my end, gaming wise.
Okay, so I'm my first part is a bit of it's based upon the bear situation in Baldur's Gate 3. So apparently you can if you can bone a wild shaped druid as a bear. That's a thing you can do, or at least it's a cut scene or something. Ryan David and the company went over that. At least I downloaded it today. It was probably a couple of days ago. Him and Kyle and Bert, and I
don't know all the details. Is it a PC that changes into a bear and then has a romantic encounter with an NPC, or is it the other way around?
I believe the NPC is a vampire elf dude, and two dudes meet in the wilderness, and they get all creepy and cringy and total, homo on each other, and then they decide he can't. I watched part of it through Diversity and Dragons. I think it was Diversity and Dragons. Were they the one that showed that? Somebody showed it. Maybe it was on Tavern Chat with Eric Tinkar. Green Apple said, the bear nonsense should shut up anyone complaining about fan service or sexy characters in games. Since they are fine with the bear, they can't complain. Yeah, and there's something else to this too, guys. Look, just get ready. Randy, I don't hide my faith. This is degeneracy. And I'm sorry, it is. There's a room of people. The Baldur's Gate people showed this. Hey, what do you want? There's these 3 options. I assume it's a cutscene. It looked like it was. And they picked that one. They picked the bear scene. And I tell you, for more than a moment, while I was bicycling today, I did about a 20-mile ride. I didn't know if I belonged here anymore. I know it's definitely overreactionary, but my gut feeling was like, there's a lot of people in this hobby that make it disgusting. And
sure.
It's not just funny. It's, okay, so we skipped over the child stuff, pedo stuff, which is in the flag we all know and hate, and gone straight to bestiality, which is what it is. I don't care
Yeah.
what they say. And I have there's no way. And I know Wasi didn't make it. And whoever this game company, I'm not worried about. Video games don't bother me because I don't play them. But there's no way I'll support them ever. I just can't be a part of this. And I don't care if they were trying to be funny. It's not funny. In fact,
a funny way you can do that
yeah.
is you're at the characters are at the tavern and talking, and one says, "Hey, remember that time I turned into a bear?" And the other one goes, "Shh, don't talk about that." And then you leave it alone.
Right.
Now,
You can make
that would be the funny way to do it.
They were
But
trying
no,
to.
they have to show it. I'm sure it wasn't too graphic.
Not that I
They
saw.
didn't
I
show
turned it off.
penetration or
No,
anything like
no,
that.
no. But it was just, it was
But,
so stupid. And Ryan David mentioned they had a little squirrel somewhere. I didn't catch that. That was apparently nodding and winking.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Ryan David, you're right. It is a true display of normalizing what is not normal.
Vengeance, CNS.
Secnas. Oh, you can shoot, man. Secnas.
I think this is
Ask away if you have a question. Feel free.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's probably
A bot?
a bot.
Okay.
I'm sure it's a bot.
Maybe I shouldn't have shown them. But anyway, I just don't have. Okay, so the dude that was talking was dressed like a Roman soldier. He goes, "Hey, which one do you want to see?" And they do it. And the crowd kind of laugh and they're getting into it and how weird it was. Yeah, David Guile says this. No, the squirrel looks shocked. They were trying to make degeneracy funny. Yeah.
I gotta hop over. Give me a second to hop over to
Oh gosh, yeah. Do your thing.
hop over. It's not on YouTube. It's over on Twitch. Let me hop over to Twitch and nip this in the bud.
Gotcha. So, hey, Patty, what's up? And Violence is over on Patty's Parlor, and Violence are over on Rumble. Glad you guys are here. Violence is dead tired. Sorry, bud. And Bruce tells me the squirrel was watching it, and apparently the camera pulls away as the fur starts to fly. What? I didn't get that far. The squirrel starts to watch, but gets so shocked he drops his acorn he's carrying. Look, I'm not interested. I'm at the point now to where I don't want to see. If I make a game, I told my friend Patrick, I'm inclined to do this. I'm not inclined anymore. Homosexuality, I'm sorry, guys, won't exist in my campaign setting if I make one. It will never be mentioned. It won't be hinted at. It won't be a thing. I'm halfway tempted to say in my setting at this point, all that alphabet crap has never existed in my D&D world and cannot exist, will not exist ever. It's not a thing. And I know that'll piss a lot of people off, but I just don't care. So yeah, I don't know who Vengeance Keckens is, but it sounds like it's a bullcrap thing.
Vengeance, see it.
Yeah. Oh, Joe's frozen now. Can you guys still hear me?
I'm frozen.
Nope, he's back. Just for a second.
Oh yeah, it looks like I was. Probably because I'm messing with Twitch at the same time.
Okay. It was a coordinated scene, says Ryan David. Yeah. Look, I just don't care. I don't want to be in any way, shape, or form connected to anything that they're doing. It's vile and disgusting. And they can, if I was so inclined to say what Legion of Myth would say, they can, what is it, F off a bridge with Dan?
Yeah.
They can do that. They can go right off that. I have no interest. Don't want to hear about it. Don't care. So,
hey,
yeah.
Ryan, when you say it was a coordinated scene, what do you mean? Between two players? Anyway, yeah. So it's hard to stick your head out of the window in this hobby and not get hit in the face with this junk. So you have to be, for me, I pretty much keep my head in.
And dude, yeah.
Every time I stick my head out and say, hey, what's going on in the hobby? This kind of crap comes up. And
No, Ryan, I'm sorry. Ryan says no, the squirrel, more normalizing in metaphor. Oh. Cal says Randy is such a big bigot. Yes, correct. That is going to be my response. Thanks, Cal. I know you're joking, buddy, but that's exactly what I'm going to say. You're a bigot, correct. I don't like you all. I think you're annoying. I think there's salvation for you, and I hope for you, and I hope you turn to see the Lord. But I'm not going to okay whatever proclivities you have, and I'm not going to say it's okay, and I'm not wrapping my arms around you as if you're my brother, because you're not. You've got
Yeah.
serious problems. And I'm not better than you. I'm fallen man too. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't expect me to do the check mark. I'm done with it completely.
Let's see. Oh,
Legion Myth
so
says, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Randy and Joe and everyone, if you're bored and have time, come by the Legion of Myth Discord and vote for the new name of the Friday Night Chill stream. Oh yeah, I got to do that. I want to. Yeah.
Yeah. Chill is a misnomer.
Yeah. Okay. Because
So yeah. It's always been fade to black, and
yeah.
adventure. I know people will say, well, lots of modern tellers, they have all kinds of romance and blah 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 in their fantasy stories and
Do
la
your
la
thing.
la, and I'm like, yeah,
Do your thing.
It's not, yeah, do your thing. I don't want any part of it. When I enjoy fantasy adventure media, whether it's in the game, in a book, or in a movie, I want it to stick to the adventure. A little bit of romance like they did in Star Wars,
right?
That's fine. Everything else, takes a back seat. That's for fan fiction. If you want to, that's what with Star Trek, with all that weirdo Captain Kirk and Spock, and I think even sometimes the Doctor love triangle bullcrap.
Yeah.
It's just it's not for me. Leave it in the fanfic.
And I'm not against.
I just won't. I mean, I'm not a big video game player anyway, but definitely not going to pick up Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, 1 and 2 are fine. I know that there were relationships in a lot of these games.
I don't remember anything like that. I know, like, what was that game? Dragon Age. That was a little extreme. I didn't care for that.
Yeah, it's just silly.
But at least that was between people. But in the end, I'm not going to split hairs. I'm not down with it. I'm out. And Modifius did that was where Diversity and Dragon did the Cohorts Cthulhu game, and how they had those woke tards had to put their pronouns in their NPC character sheets. Who cares?
That's prime character sheet real estate for something that could be used for something more useful, like your ammunition count for your bow, how much your character weighs, do you have a familiar? Yeah, all that's fine. But pronoun, as if you have to read it and remind yourself of your freaking pronoun. Your character sheet tells you about your character. You should know that.
Look, like I said, I can handle a little romance at the table as far as like someone's interested in an NPC or vice versa, but we're not going to like role play it out. It's just, I'm not into that. Don't care. I don't care who it is. It's not happening.
But if that's what you want to have on your character sheet, fine. I'm not. I think it's silly.
Yeah,
and I have your gender or sex. I prefer to say sex because that's more precise.
Gender's it's a literary word that got absconded for the left. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean much. Ryan David, no, we don't. Don't buy their crap. Make your own stuff. Focus on people. Focus on making a fun game instead of pandering to sex-obsessed weirdos. Yeah. Legion of Myth.
As much as I like the female form, it's already bad enough that a lot of these video games, it's boobs out most of the time, and in a lot of fantasy media, it's boobs out most of the time. That's bad enough. It should have stopped there.
Yeah, but to be fair, they're not even. I mean, like Ryan David said it earlier, they're not courting us. They don't care about us. They got a certain, and even the people they care about are not the majority. We're not the majority either. The majority don't get on and make YouTube videos. They don't complain to the company. They just play D&D or whatever RPG they want to. Casimir, our pundit, yes, we are unfortunately talking about that, but I'm trying to leave it only for a moment. So actually now we've kind of transitioned a little bit to the cohorts, Cthulhu, pronouns thing, which you should watch his video. He talks about how historically it's kind of dumb, and he's right. I mean, it's just dumb. So
You have male or female on your character sheet. You can write that in. That should be good enough.
yeah, I just more and more.
If you want to do that.
Yeah, I'm just convinced we have to. We got to push. I just got to dive in fully. I think I'm already there, but just the alternate, small niche of people that kind of think like I do. Not that I want this to be I don't want it to be an echo chamber, but dang it, everybody else is dumb. I just don't. I don't care. Yeah, true.
Smizmar. I don't. Maybe that's just some gobbledygook. Maybe you just came up with. I mean, the rest is too. But.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Yeah, good point. Pundit says Cynthia Williams promised D&D would make $1 billion. Now we know her strategy. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever, dude. I'm out. It's all right. I already was. I'm done with them. They can. I don't care what
we already have. We have lots of choices of great stuff you can get. That if you want to infuse your game in this way, you can do it at your own table. It's not dealt with in the material of the game, and you can find it all on, or you can find a lot of it on Big Geek Emporium.
Yeah. But.
Oh, I didn't know that. Smizmar is from Futurama. I've watched that a few times. That's a funny show. Yeah, so it's just silliness that it's really infantile, to be honest. People will say it's adult, but it's really not.
Yeah, no, it's just stupidity. But I like it. I like the stupidity sometimes of that show. I think
right. So yeah, head on over to Big Geek Emporium, pick up some clean stuff. I mean,
some clean stuff.
The Red Room's over there too, so it's kind of they do their own thing, and that's fine with me. But there's plenty of other stuff over there you can get.
I think
I want that.
I'd mentioned I tried to support them during the drive-through bull crapo, and I went to buy a bunch of their stuff. And I'm sorry, Miguel and Sylvia, love you guys. I'm all for your fighting the power sort of thing, but I had a hard time finding stuff I could buy. I was just like, ooh.
Hey, they know their stuff isn't for everybody,
dude,
and they're fine with that.
And it's fine.
And that's the way all the creators should be. Dude, you don't like my stuff, there's plenty of other stuff.
There's a lot of crap around. Buy what you like, play what you like. Even those bozos that like the stupid bear sex thing. I just think it's heinous. I wish that wasn't a thing, but I don't want them around me. I just can't be around them. So
right.
Anyway, so I think I'm done. Fight the power. Change the culture, focus on people that, like stuff that's reasonable that you want to be a part of, and screw the rest of it, I guess. Oh, no, absolutely, Darth. You're right. The Bear Room is 1,000,000 times better than the bear thing.
Yeah. I guarantee you that.
100%. Yeah, it's just that's a lot of sexy cover stuff from what I can tell.
A lot of their stuff is tongue-in-cheek, too. It's not presented in the semi-serious way that these leftists present their stuff. I mean,
I've been hearing a lot of folks. Glad he made a comment. What is this? He said, don't know if the Radical High physical bundle is still available on BGE, but I totally think it's worth it. Mine showed up pretty fast too. What is this Radical High? I saw some of that in Discord. What's that about? I haven't even.
Radical High is a set of game material a fellow put up on our site on Big Geek Emporium.
It's getting some buzz in Discord.
It's physical, but he sends it out himself, apparently.
Coolio.
So he doesn't have a print on demand thing through us.
Cool. All right, dude. Shall we move on? You want to tell them to do the things and then jump into a real topic? And Randy's done being a right-wing alt-right Christian hater. Christian hater.
No, not just alt. You're far right.
Far right. Far alt-right Christian nationalists, I believe is what I'm called.
Probably throw in Dragoon in there somewhere.
Yep.
Who knows? All right. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell notification to be notified about our shows on YouTube. Do whatever you need to do in your podcast app of choice, because we do publish audio sometimes late because I forget. Like this week, but we recorded late on Thursday, and I didn't get the audio out till today. Was it today or yesterday? Randy,
What?
you're not listening with bated breath to everything I say?
Something about getting the audio out on the podcast.
Yeah, was that today?
That was
Or
today.
That was today, yeah.
Yes, because I try to listen to it because, I want to hear my own voice over and
Sure
over.
you do.
Because it's so melodious and everyone, and it was great. I got to the point where Joe wasn't even talking, and I was just like, "Wow, this is a really good podcast." Yes, yes. Oh, dude, coordinated wardrobe. You're wearing the good shirt, and I'm wearing the old one that kept peeling off for Cabin Con. Is that same one?
Actually, both of my shirts turned out fine.
You turd. Mine got screwed. Deb's got one that worked out great. My wife got one. Yeah. Dang it. Great shirt too, but oh well. I was going to say something else, but I'm sure it was very important and I'll remember later.
Right. All right.
Take it away, Joe. The first part was yours, man.
Yes. So D&D Weirdness. There's a lot of odd things. We've talked about our game, our slice of the hobby. D&D has some weird paradigms in it. And One of the things is the dungeon itself. There are some okay places to have a dungeon that might occur naturally, like an animal lair or a mausoleum, sunken ruins, old mine, those kinds of things. An actual dungeon that's as in a prison that may be under some ruins that now has, undead prisoners that you have to fight to get the stuff that they don't have there because they were prisoners naked, all bound up, first level, and then died because their DM is a jerk. But one of the things that I'm not sure where it started, and I'm trying to remember the source. I think it's Rule Cyclopedia, and that might be a carryover from one of the earlier D&D books after the basics or after the white box, the little booklets, is that empty dungeons don't stay empty. It was even said that if you become a lord, you make dungeons, then they naturally attract monsters, so that adventurers have things to do in your area.
That's on one hand,
it's really weird.
On one hand, it sounds really stupid, but on the other hand, it's kind of cool. I mean, imagine if we talked about 13th Age. I hate to blast people with that, but in 13th Age, you have living dungeons, and they actually do that. They repopulate themselves. They will capture other people that get, like you walk into a dungeon, that a monster walks into this living dungeon, it'll close it off and it'll take them somewhere else and they'll be a part of the dungeon. It's a neat, fantastical way to say that basically dungeons have a pheromone that attracts evil.
Right. Something like that. Cool. I mean, you can explain it as it provides some. If you just go with the general, dungeons don't stay empty, and then you just build on that. You can lean into it and probably make your world a little bit more fantastical instead of, plain old medieval fantasy. You can make it very fantastical because what draws the monsters? Where do they come from? Do they spawn?
Well, like Jack the 71st says, ancient cities don't stay empty. I'm not like a master of history. Pundit's still listening, he could chime in. Is that a thing that if a city gets built, even if something happens like catastrophe through the past, I guess people have taken over and took over the real estate, as it were, so that they could, not have to rebuild everything. Yeah, and that's actually fairly reasonable.
Right. So if as a concept you leave it general, then all your various DMs you can make your own decision on how it works, whether they attract nearby monsters or maybe even far away monsters.
Right.
You could imagine a troop of monsters, even of various different types. Imagine if they kind of all come together not a parade, but there's another word for it. But they're all marching together. So yeah, we're going to this dungeon, and they all come together. That would be an interesting sight on a fantasy world.
Yeah, over on Rumble, Violence Solves Everything says you could base your entire domain's economy on catering to adventurers, especially if dungeons do that themselves. You'll always have new adventurers rolling in to deal with the Tomb of Horrors because it gets repopulated. So maybe you take care of Acererak, which I don't know how you could because that's a death trap. But you go in and you take care of him, and then it gets repopulated. And that would be kind of fun as a DM. And boy, this would save you a lot of work, wouldn't it? If you had 2 or 3 dungeons you drew up and populated, ran the characters through it, and then repopulated them differently, but just kind of you worked from what the characters did before. So they went in, they didn't clear out all 4 nodes of the Temple of Elemental Evil. The water node was left, and you could let the water prince, Hydra, I think is his name. I don't know where the hell I got that name from, but it sounds right. Hydra could become stronger, and it could be, the dungeon of water elemental evilness the next time the players play through it. It could be a fun reuse of the same dungeon. A couple of comments. Legion answered my question. Lots of ancient cities are under modern cities, sometimes multiple times. And then Ryan David said he ran a game once where he used the same dungeon 4 times. Very cool. What is this? Lady One says, sorry, with Randy's new sound and headset, I'm just waiting for him to call in air support. Can't get it out of Rogue One. Fat boy slim bass.
That's funny.
Dude. Side note, I can't believe I'm not tired. I got up this morning a little late, about 9 o'clock. Got out to the gym by 9:45, pumped iron for about 45 minutes. Then I biked about 20 miles. And I came back and worked quite a bit on different things. I'm feeling pretty good. Even though I'm not losing the weight I want to lose, I'm feeling kind of pumped today. Maybe I rested up and didn't get a workout this weekend, so it came up. Side note.
Yeah.
What's it called? Tangent. Randy went tangent.
Yeah, on a tangent. Yeah. You also don't necessarily need to figure out how it works. I know Randy will because he's a control freak.
I am.
But as if you just say that it happens, and then maybe the characters or your players talk about, this is weird. How is this happening? And they throw suggestions around, and then you can just mine them for the real answer.
I've done
make up a bunch of rumors.
Yeah,
and then they can figure it. You don't necessarily have to know how this works. Just that it works is weird enough.
Yeah,
that it works this way, and it can work in different kinds of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I am inclined that when, especially for myself, I want to answer those questions. Like I wouldn't like you said, well, the dungeons just leave off a pheromone that attracts monsters. I'd be like, okay, I got to figure out why that happened. It may never come up in game, but I've done exactly what you've said. I've done that multiple times where players, they come up with a solution. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Or if I'm doing adventure, their idea of what's going on is better than mine. So I might change it midstream.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt anything. So you got different, so they don't stay empty. So whether they spawn like a video game, which is kind of weird, you could say that the game setting, since it is a game setting, right? It's going to be different from a real world setting. It's a game setting. Game stuff happens there. You don't necessarily have to make it too, in your face, but you could have something, either there's some permeable barrier between the prime material plane and where these monsters come from, because they don't have to come from the prime.
No.
Right?
No, they could be
even monsters that normally appear on the prime according to our game lore. They don't necessarily have to come from the prime that are in the dungeon.
Imagine a world where monsters only came from other worlds. Right. There were no monsters natural to your world. Green Apple has a good suggestion. He says maybe some fungus gives off the aroma that attracts them, explains why dim and dark underground areas are always full of monsters. Yep.
And there would be fungus down there.
Yeah. over on Rumble, don't want to forget these guys. Patty's Parlor. Patty said the basic expert mentioned that dungeons filled with monsters and such feels like a fantasy post-apocalypse. Like at one point, those dungeons were underground villages and civilizations. Or it's like the king is breeding monsters to keep the churning of adventurers coming to town and boosting the economy. Then the players find out and have to. Oh, that's cool, and that would be neat. What if the king or the local leader was keeping those monsters filled so adventurers would come through and buy a bunch of crap and keep the place bustling?
And have something to do other than bother him.
Yes.
Right? Because
correct.
Once adventurers get to a certain power level, and it doesn't take long, like 5th level, you can wreak havoc on a kingdom.
Yep.
Even, villages and towns and whatnot. But if the local establishment says, hey, let's keep these dungeons, filled so that they have stuff to do and keep them out of trouble.
Here's a super game thing from Halcyon H. You probably like this, Joe. Very video game, but I get it. One of my favorite explanations in game comes from Dragon Warrior Quest. The Dark Lord makes monsters out of money and gems. Stronger monsters, more money. So when you kill them, you get the money. They revert back.
Now, you can do that. And if we're saying there's some kind of magical connection, maybe when you kill them, some sort of magical thing appears. So a gem or some other material that's magical in some kind of way that's connected to that monster. Let's say you kill a giant, and then something that you can use to make a strength potion. I mean, it can be like, giant's left ear, right?
Yep.
But it's magical, and you can use it as a component in something.
Yep. I know you love that idea, like mining monsters for that. That's always kind of cool. Iron Man makes a good point, too, about repopulating. He says having undead populate vacancies is pretty easy to explain. Yeah. Just make everything undead. You kill the dragon, he's a Dracolich. Next time you come in. I like that. I'm going to go with that from now on. And Martin.
Yes. There you go. Another reason to get Dungeons and Delvers. It's built in. Monster harvesting is built in.
Right on.
I mean, it makes sense. What do we harvest all kinds of things from animals in every day, right? Meat and other parts, fur, bone, do all kinds of things with that stuff. So it just makes sense. And if they're magical, then many of them may have some connection that remains after they're dead that a body part might help with.
I think I'm interpreting this right, Martinson. He has a little twist on Patty's idea of the king bringing in monsters. You could have the king of the land hire a group of adventurers to farm the monsters for his dungeon. Go catch me some monsters. And if he's has a powerful mage, he could portal them to another plane to connect it to the other idea to go bring monsters back. And so that would be a challenging high-level adventure, because you wouldn't need the monsters to be tough enough to kill the PCs, just tough enough where they got to be careful capturing them. And they got to use some of their higher-level spells and powers to get a hold of them. That can be really cool.
You could have as an addendum to all of this, I think, an additional piece where not necessarily every dungeon, or even you don't even necessarily need to do this, but an interesting additional thing you can do is, since there is a level of monsters flooding into the dungeon or being spawned into it, what if it gets broken and it doesn't stop?
Right.
So, or let's say if it's left untouched for X amount of time, then it gets broke and then it floods. And so whenever there's there's a typical, hey, there's a lot of orcs around, and we usually have some orcs, but there's a lot more orcs than usual. Well, that's because no one's cleared out their lair, and there's a bunch more.
Point Blank will appreciate this. In 13th Age, I think it's part of the Eyes of the Stone Thief super adventure, which involves a living dungeon. There's a place called the Spawning Stone. Orcs in the Dragon Empire spawn from like the ground out of nowhere.
Right.
And you go there and they're just spawning orcs. It's kind of cool. Side note, not fully related. Tonka Todd says a troll bladder cleaned by a cleric makes for an outstanding water skin. It actually would, because it would never leak. It would heal itself.
Yeah. it would probably need to have that cleric take care of it because it probably stinks.
I got to
I
mention
mean, it's
this.
a bladder and it comes off a troll. It's got to stink.
Yeah, you have to do some. Well, the cleric's got to clean it and purify it, which might take away the, knowing me, Tonka, if I was DMing, it would take away the regenerative property because I'm that
Sure
kind of
would.
DM.
Because that's you.
Back on Rumble, I want to make sure my Rumble guys are being listened to. And Legion of Myth like this. Violence solves everything says, in Earth Dawn, everyone built underground cities. Earth Dawn to hide from the horrors for centuries. Now the horrors are gone and people have returned to the surface. These underground towns remain, and many were breached by the horrors during the time that people were in hiding. They are now places of terror, hidden horrors, and loot. Yeah, dude, these guys have some great ideas.
Yeah, and Warhammer has the fungal greenskins. Orcs and goblins and stuff. They're all fungus, and they you kill them and spores go all over the place. Apparently, yeah. I don't know exactly, but same kind of deal.
Ryan David wants to shill a little bit, and I'm going to let him. He says Aura's world, that's his game that he's working on, is post-apocalyptic, but it's thousands of years post-apocalypse. So dungeons are literally what was mostly buried and often infested because they are a good, safe home for mobs. Yeah, that's a cool way to do it.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. Tyranids are as bad as what? You're silent, Joe.
I think he's referring to what I said about the greenskins. So maybe Tyranids do the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And is that in that's in your Dungeon Delvers, right?
Oh, he has Tyranids. I thought that was like a Warhammer. Yeah. Warhammer was the game they were, not Warhammer. What was it? Warhammer? Dark Heresy? Did they have Tyranids? I don't know. That's not my cup of tea.
Oh, the Tyranids are Warhammer 40.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know much about them anyway. Yep.
40K has always been too rich for my blood.
Yeah, but there's a role-playing game I played. John T. He ran us through a scenario. I don't know if you were there that night, and we played some. I want to say it was Dark Heresy, something about Space Marines.
Yeah. Dark Heresy is a spin-off thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think determining where the monsters come from would be important because characters that get higher level, especially if you have a few character adventuring groups, recycle back to an old dungeon and find it like 2 or 3 times, and they find it repopulated. They might start asking the question, "Why is this repopulating?" And so you might better come up with something just in case. If the question comes up, if they don't ask, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, just because a player asks about something doesn't mean you have to tell them. I mean, how many times have you, said nobody knows, or somebody tells you a thing and it ends up being wrong?
Right. I do tend to
either
lie.
On purpose or by accident. I mean, rumors.
I do tend to like to lie to my players. I think it's good for them not to hear the truth. So the truth will set them free. I can't have them free. They must be chained to my table. Yeah.
All right.
Wow. All right. Anything else about your dungeon weirdness?
No, but I think what would be cool is to have this a recurring idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of weird things about D&D.
Right.
Little aspects of the game that are odd, and we can explore them. I mean, I think we may have done a whole episode on it at some time in the past. But what we can do is bring it back to the fore and just do a whole segment on a particular thing. Yeah,
there's a plethora of things that you laugh about. I mean, one of them we could come back and talk about the whole hit. Like last time I was listening to the podcast that we talked about cure light wounds, and then why is it healing hit points if hit points are not really your physical body? That's kind of weird. There's other weird things too. So
I think I think a lot of the weird things or a lot of the off things about D&D is caused by multiple authors. I mean, there are at the very beginning there was 2 at least, with Gygax and Arneson.
Yeah.
So you have 2 different authors, 2 different ideas.
Well,
sometimes editing is funny, but they don't. I think Gary had the propensity to say, "No, that's what that means."
Yeah, we found that. Yeah, we found that out, and it expanded exponentially quite quickly. So, tons of people have had their fingers in the pie of D&D, and things got weird. And I think sometimes that's its charm, though, right? That's a little
Yeah.
bit of its
Well,
charm.
some of them are edition specific, like the grappling rules from first edition
Mm-hmm.
that are funky beyond belief.
I've not read those in so long. I really should. It's been so long. I can't remember. I'm sure I know I read them back in the day and said, I'm not using that. And I think there were times where early on I would say, like, I want to try to get him in a headlock. No, you can't. It's a monster. I was just like,
Monsters don't headlock.
They don't headlock. I'm not into that. So you're going to attack him with your sword, or I'm going to skip your turn.
You're going to try to get him in a headlock, but because you got so close to him, you actually put your head in his mouth.
Correct.
Yes.
He got you
so
in a
you're going to
get you in
a headlock of his own.
He got you in a mouth lock. He locked your head into his mouth. So yeah. Well, I didn't know where this fits. If you're ready to move on, then I don't know if you want to keep going.
Yeah.
I think that's a good revisiting topic. I like it. I didn't quite get it when you sent it to me the other day, but now that we've done this, I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. This will be fun. It could be even RPG weirdness. We could bring it in from other RPGs, because Savage Worlds and 13th Age and games we played recently, they got some weirdness too. So
yeah, sure,
it'd be fun to bring that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
and how to lean into it rather than run away from it.
Right,
because when you lean into it, it will often make your world more fantastic. As long as you don't do it like you have vending machines in your dungeons and stuff like that. Unless it's
unless you want to.
What's the game where you are going into dungeons with refs and they're on TV?
X-Crawl, baby.
Yeah. If you're in X-Crawl, then it fits that paradigm.
That
though, it's kind of risky. It'll seem wonky.
That is coming out soon in Kickstarter for DCC. I'm probably going to have a hard time resisting. I don't really want to support them. Oh, side note. Did you know that we are listed in the green section of Woke Company, the TTRPG list? The list of where it's green, yellow, and red.
Oh. The green is good.
A Big Geek Emporium is considered green, so we're in the.
I didn't even know we were in that.
Yeah, they got us. It's got Ocul on the RPG site, pundit site. I guess he's updating it all the time, and so they put us there. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm with you, David Gwilly says if you don't want to support them, don't.
He's talking about 40K.
No, I thought he was talking.
He's responding to Point Blank.
Oh, it said Chicago 67. That's me.
Oh. I guess that's true. Mm-hmm. I will admit that.
Yeah. Point Blank made a good comment too. That connects to my rant a little bit. You got to admit though, 40K having the paywall has gate kept the wokeness out, because the danger hair glitter trolls can't afford it for the most part. That's
I think that's changing. Because
I think so too.
There's something about battle princesses or female marine, space marine thing. Yeah. They were trying to make some change so that the space marines can be female when they are supposed to be male.
Yeah.
Except for one group of females who were temple guardians or something like that. Anyway, off topic.
Yep. Okay. So this next part, I don't know if it fits in this or something else. It's just kind of something I've been thinking about, because as I said last week, I really want to revive what is that? Weirdos want
female space marines in the company. Well, the company won't do it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought I heard something about them caving.
Yeah, cool. But I want to revive. What's up, Hungar? Your nerds are in the house, brother. So I want to revive Mudsword. I'm pretty intimidated when I look at games that people are working on. I've been highlighting all the mistakes, David Gwill, all the editing typos for the last pass through my adventure. That's coming to you this week, I promise. I won't say promise. I'm going to say promise. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to send it out to David so I can get it printed and put it on BGE. Like, I want it done before I leave for vacation. And I look at the work they put into it and the time. And David sent me the last draft, and I'm getting to my point, I promise. The last draft of my adventure, Tragedy at Tygon's Falls. And he said, hey, make another pass through it. And I looked at it and said, I don't want to read this again. You know what I mean? I mean, just looking at it, I'm like, I actually understand now how game designers could look at their own product after a while and be like, man, I'm tired of looking at that. Or
That's
tired
why
of,
they hire editors if they can.
yeah, or tired of working on that. Yeah, okay, Dave, we'll get it done, bud. I'm not trying to rush you. He says he's got to do some stuff, and I'm just saying I want to get that done. Right, exactly. And then here's the point, David Will. Imagine doing that for a 500-page book. No, sir. So there was a moment where I didn't want to do that. And then the bear sex thing came out. And then Modifius. And then the 4,000 things that Watsy did. And I'm like, you know what, Randy? Nobody may ever play it, but I need to make a game. Joe needs to be a part of it, whether he has time to write it. I'm going to write a game. It's going to happen. And it may be the suckiest game that's ever sucked, but I'm going to make one. And I just think we need to this is get back on my thing. We need to get on that. So I'm trying to figure out, what do I like? What do I really like as a player? And I kind of said, I'm pretty convinced I'm not an OSR player. I put /DM, but I'm going to take that off. I'm going to say I can be an OSR DM. I can DM almost any game that I halfway like. But I'm not like in love with OSR stuff. I don't hate OSR stuff, but I started listing things that I really didn't care for, and I would encourage Joe to add or take away from the list. The first thing I said was 1 hit point characters. I'm not interested. We had mentioned last week in Hyperborea how we found it really tough, single digit 9, 10, 11 hit point characters just going down in one shot. And I know some of the guys here are like, I think it was Jack the 71st made a good point. You're used to 3-5, you got to break free of stuff. I get it, but I don't think I want to. I don't want characters that are that soft, you know?
Because that is soft.
Yeah, I mean,
even with the monsters that just doing what they normally do, you don't have to do anything out of the way to murder a whole party. And total party wipe is just fine, but you don't have to crit. You just hit, and their normal damage is bad enough.
Yep. Yeah, well, those crabs were deadly. But I mean, I remember in the old days, I think crabs were kind of tough too. And to be fair, a 6-foot crab would be rough. XP charts with insanely slow progression. I'm not interested. Anything TSR, I'm out on that experience. Those charts take too long. And I know you can count gold piece for experiences. Dude, Joe knows. Randy's not giving thousands of gold every adventure. It's not happening.
Right.
You know?
If we had to rely, at one point it would have been fine.
Yes.
Back in the day. After you got out of your Monty Hall phase, you went the opposite. And if we had to rely on XP, on gold for XP at that point, we wouldn't have made it past 3rd level.
No way. Playing for years. I've had 8th and 9th level characters couldn't rub together 500 gold pieces.
Right.
So I mean, it's just a thing. Spell segments, weapon speed. What I'm saying is too fiddly. On my end, it's got to be super smooth. On your end, I don't care. That's why I'm really impressed. A little shout out to the Horde War guys. After playing with their game Horde Wars during Cabin Con, and Joe played the living crap out of it, there seems to be enough crunch on the player side to give you choices and feel like you're doing a tiny bit of building. And on the DM side, I was watching Todd. I didn't get to see. Why am I blanking on homie's name? Cool dude, Todd and what's his name?
You remember that? You remember that stuff better than me. I remember Todd.
I know,
because that's who we interact mostly with.
Yeah, but other dude's a physics guy's really smart, awesome dude.
Yeah.
Dang it, I'm so mad at myself. Anyway,
Nate.
I didn't get to watch him run, but I was like watching Todd. I'm like, this game's easy to run. It's easy to run.
I think they don't even roll hit point damage for the monsters. It's standard damage.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I don't know if 13th Age was the first to do that, or was 4th edition the first to do. Well, neither one of them were probably the first, but just to do set damage. Halcyon H says, that's my next one, dude. Not interested. That's not true. Thaco is unnecessary. Base attack bonus is intuitive and easier. Don't lose your mind. I get that Thaco's just subtraction. I understand it. But why? As a mathematician, I've already said subtraction is just a more complicated operation. It's not complicated, but it's more complicated than addition.
Yeah, unnecessarily so.
And unnecessary, the Thaco thing is just not, sorry, I'm not interested. I don't hate it, but I won't have it. Now, realize, guys, I'm not saying I won't play these games. I'm still into playing. I want to go back and look at first edition. I want to go back and look at second edition. I think I've seen the old school enough, though I might want to play the new old Swords and Wizardry. And I like, oh, yes, Condor DM, correct. You must hate golf. I do. I find golf terribly boring, but I also suck at it. So to be fair, it's on me. This is just a thing, I'm not saying anybody has a problem.
You're not saying unequivocally this is bad. You're just saying your preference is.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Correct. It has the equivalent of Thaco. Point Blank says Hyperborea has Thaco too. Yeah. It's a matrix. Look, I don't hate. In fact, I was telling Joe when we played, it's kind of fun to look on the chart. Kind of fun, but it won't last. It's a nostalgia. Right. It's a nostalgia hit.
Yeah.
Another thing. I'm sorry, Joe. You got a few things you don't care for, or are you more like I love old school, nothing about it?
No, let's let you get all your don't like stuff out.
Yeah. Okay. Retainers and henchmen, right? No, hold on.
We're going to fight about this.
Condor and DM's got a good idea. You don't need the chart. That was why Thaco was superior to the charts. I agree, sir. I'm not saying Thaco's so dang hard no one can learn it. I'm a math guy. It's not hard. It's a piece of cake. But base tag bonus is easier. And it's just intuitive for most people. And I like it. Fine. It's good.
Add your bonuses, roll your dice, and you're done.
Here's what I mean, retainers and henchmen. From the DM side, I don't want to keep track of a bunch of stupid henchmen. And I don't want a party of 13, 17, 18 characters. That
sounds like a bunch of whining to me.
Dude, that's too many characters. Get out of here. Be the hero. No. Leave your henchmen at home.
Well, you don't read much, do you? Because lots of hero people have hangers on, many of them. However, I get what you're saying. If the player, it would be different if you didn't have to worry about it, right? If all you had to worry about was us, like when I was running those two fighters that were our that we hired in the not gaming essentials, old school essentials, right? Yep. Game we had, I had two. You didn't have to really worry about them.
Right. I did. There's a solution. I agree. That's manageable. If you had camp followers that stayed in camp and stayed out of my dang way, and the
majority of these guys will be camp followers, and then one or two maybe go with you. And as you could tell, I was the only one interested in it. Nobody else did.
That's interesting. So, and this is a caveat. If there's one person that's got a henchman or two, I can live with it. If all 6 players have 3 henchmen,
right,
I'm not running a
that will get unmanageable.
That's 24 people.
You're not likely going to have that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be at the table is going to have somewhat different sensibilities. And then some people, it just won't fit because they might have a 3 charisma and they might be able to hire somebody for 1 trek. And by the time you get back, they're like, I'm out of here, man. You don't have to pay me. I hate you.
Yeah. And David Gwill says he lets his kids track their henchmen. Yeah, I do. I would too. I'll let you have them immediately. I wasn't interested in tracking them. Legion of Myth says I may want to try Free League. It's on my list. It's way down the list, but it's on my list. Dude, I saw there's an Aliens game. I shouldn't say this. I should give it to Joe. There is an Aliens RPG book, core book you can get for $20 on Marketplace in probably 20 minutes away from here. You ought to look into it.
Do you have an extra?
I do not. I thought about buying it, but I thought I'd let one of you guys know. Check Marketplace on Facebook, you local Michigan guys. There's a $20 Aliens RPG. Legion made me think of that.
I'll just play one shots. I'm not going to run anything like that.
Yeah. And I agree, Condor. Too many henchmen. It stops you from giving a good amount of your time and focus for each character. I cut it down to 6. Fair enough. Um, what else? Someone else said something else I liked. Don't want to miss people here. Some good comments. Um, anyway, uh, Iron Man made some comments. He dislikes weapon proficiency. Check. Dislikes saving throw charts. Sort of. And tired of looking up size versus monsters. Yeah, I don't do that. I'm not into that. I don't like the 5 saving throws from AD&D. Call it heresy. I don't care about rod staff wand, paralyzation, poison, death match. Legion's going to get me. Fortitude, reflex, will is the best. Period. Fight me. It's the best. It's the best. There is nothing that's better. It's the best. No, the best is 1 save. But
then you modify it.
But the players need 3 because it makes them feel better. So, but I'm good with.
You only need 1.
I like 1 save.
And then either stats or class or combination modifies that if you even want to do that.
Yep.
Maybe equipment. Yeah. You only need 1.
Point Blake says, "How do I feel about a knight character having a squire?" Look, if I don't have to run the stupid thing, I'm more lenient. I just don't want to have to track. Well, he's my torchbearer. He's my this guy, and I got to kind of role play this character. Granted, I don't have to role play him. I can be like, duh. But Joe knows I'm not going to do that. I don't want him just to be like an automaton.
If you have a good player who will play them like they should be played, and not will wipe your butt for you unless you've hired them to do that. They're not going to agree to jump into a trap because we said no, we're not using them for that. Someone kind of joked about it at the table, but no, you're not going to be able to get away with that. And if you are like heroic, you're just not going to. You might, if you have an ability to summon disposable monsters, that's one thing, but people, you're not going to do that. But the player should be role playing those guys unless the DM needs to step in for some reason. Yeah. So it should be that's the way it should run.
Yeah. Ryan David says he likes building as much into defenses over stats. I like that too in 13th Age. I'm actually right now leaning toward ripping 13th Age down to its super core mechanics and building from there. Defenses or stats, and let your sheet be a reference. Yeah. Iron Man uses a single save. Condor says, let's put that up here. I honestly find tracking a lot of stuff easy, not bragging, but me and you come at this differently for that reason. Sure. Dude, there was a day I was into knowing all the crap, and it's cool that you do, and maybe you're just more with it than me these days. I'm just not interested.
I remember an adventure, a party we had way back in the day where everybody got henchmen at the same time. And you, I think, got pissed off and decided to make almost all of them turncoats of some kind. Because, if you want to be a stickler and a jerkwad, hey, I want to hire people that will follow me. How do you know they're good? You could cast detect evil, but you're like, oh, well, that's rude.
I didn't run it. I never ran the game like that. You couldn't just detect evil on a person.
Right,
I don't buy that.
So when the thing is, though, you should have in this case, because these guys were actively planning evil against me. So
yes, dude, you're not wrong.
But I don't think too many. I think most of the henchmen ended up being thieves or assassins of some kind instead of what you wanted.
Yeah, Iron Man's reading my mind. I don't want to put so much mental energy into running the crunch, but rather energy put into the adventure and such. Look, the end of 3.5, Joe, and Pathfinder, the truth is, I was just designing battles.
Right.
But now, I added flavor, and I guess that's okay. But my mental energy was really put on trying to challenge you guys statistically, not other things. So, and I don't hate it. I don't hate this stuff. It's just not for me.
Right.
I guess the last couple of things, this is a big one. The failure to handle high level. I hate that about all D&D versions.
Right. None of them do it very.
Maybe 4th edition never played it.
Maybe because it didn't play, yeah.
But all the others, poop. Total poop. I'm waiting for Bruce to jump in and tell me. Oh, we got to check our Rumblers. I may have some comments. Patty's in.
Yeah,
Patty's
Bruce
in.
is going to throw in something
And
about the advanced bestiary and how that'll settle all the
it will settle
ills about high
all
level.
the ills. Yeah. Ryan Davis says high level in 5th edition is level 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Campaign's over. 6 levels, just over, man.
okay. To be honest,
Yeah.
OSR 6th level is high level too,
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways. Most
Yep.
OSR based games, they max out at 11. And I've heard a lot of people on podcasts say they don't even like going past 3rd.
And you know what? I just look.
I don't get that, but that's fine for them.
It's fine if you like it. That's cool. Hard is a relative term. Condor says it's not hard. I've done it. I've DM'd 20-something, 30th level, AD&D, regular D&D. You can do it. It can be done. I want the base game, though, to handle it. It doesn't. None of the games, even the advanced stuff, it doesn't handle it. It's all on the DM's shoulders. A 13th level party in 2nd edition AD&D, unless you just gave them no gear at all, is going to have, and I love it, by the way. Condor saying he's done a lot. I love high level. I love mid level. I love low level, but I like high level a lot.
If you're into challenging your players, you got to put some work in.
Absolutely.
Out of the box, it doesn't work like that.
But I think there's got to be something that's a little bit closer. I mean, and it's been so long since I've done TSR D&D. Maybe I'll just take that off the table. 3rd edition, though, nope. 13th, 14th level Pathfinder, 3.5, 3.0 characters could mop the floor with every adventure WotC ever published.
I think AD&D it was a little bit more delayed, but in 3rd edition and in Pathfinder, like you're saying, 9th level,
yeah, dude,
to 11th, and well, maybe even 9th level for sure. There's monsters you can't handle in 3rd edition at 9th level because, especially for spellcasters, when they have really high spell resistance.
Yeah.
But toward the end of the game, if you took the right path in your character build, you can be laying the damage by 10th level.
Yeah. And people are talking about, well, I challenged the party. Darth says they did. David said he did in his game, and Delvers, that you can challenge. And Darth mentioned he level 1 to 20. You can do it. And I'm sure you guys did a great job, and it wasn't hard when you really have mastery of all the rules. And I guess what it is I've been so far removed from 3rd edition, and I just was burnt out at the end of it. And I tried other games. I like the ease of many other games, but I see the faults. Nobody really does high level great. Even though 13th age keeps high level balanced, I wouldn't call it great. There's still
because it's the same for all levels.
It's a lot of sameness. I mean, the ebb and flow of the game is fairly predictable. Ryan David may disagree with me, but our experience has been that.
So the only thing difference in 13th age, in my opinion, high level play is you get a lot of monsters that interact with the escalation die, and it can make the flow of the combat a lot more funky.
Right.
But apart from that, I don't think it's that different.
Right. But again, like I said, and this is coming from a guy, I mean, Joe can verify, it's talking to my friends, anybody, Martinson, I've run high level. I can do it, and I think I do it pretty well. I think now that I'm 56, especially with my game, I'm looking for something that I don't have to kill myself on. But I understand there's work. If we're going to do levels 1 to 20, I've got to be able to hold my own. I can't be a lazy dungeon master and expect my players back there pumping their dude up as powerful as they can get and then say, oh, I'm mad because my ogre died. Of course you did. They're 14th level. Why are you throwing ogres at them? If those ogres aren't ogre magi with 10 levels of fighters and 7 levels of wizard, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yep. Legion this is something Legion said before, and I want to put this up here. He says, there's a difference between what can I do and what I want to do. Yep. Around 12 to 14 in AD&D 2E, I hit the wall where I no longer wanted to do it. Yeah, I never hit that wall where I didn't want to do it until now. Now that I've been away from it, I don't want to go back to it. Yeah, I agree. I use that example too, Point Blank. Point Blank says 13th age, monsters are savage, static 100 damage from Baylor. Yeah, until he crits. Then it's 200. Suck it, 10th level barbarian.
Unless you're a paladin and they can't hit you.
Correct, which is a fact. That's a fact, dude. 10th level paladins are beast.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree with. Oh, yeah, you got some more stuff here.
I'm sorry, Joe. I don't mean to hog it all, but fancy and
No,
magic.
no.
Hate's not the wrong thing, but I'm a little tired of it. A little tired of fancy and magic. It doesn't affect me that much because honestly, I'm never using it. I got news for you players. I've really never used it. I pick a few. Well, why should I? I mean, my player, my character.
The giveaway was, "Where's the spell book?" You can't find it.
Fair enough. Joe is not wrong. But I mean, I think I like the idea of spell points. I get it. I've not seen a great one. I like the idea of a spell check, something different. Again, it's not hate. Joe has more hate for Vancian than I do, but it's just not my thing. So yeah, David Gwill says he likes pseudo Vance. It's not hate. It's just not my thing. And mapping,
Well,
not interested
correct.
in that either.
And David Gwill is correct.
Yeah.
When I've read, did I finish it? I can't remember if I finished it. The book you loaned me, what Jack Vance book did you loan me?
Dying Earth. The Dying Earth. Yep.
So I've read most of it, and it seems like it's way severe.
Yeah.
The most powerful caster in there could cast 5 different spells, and now the spells that they could cast when they got really powerful were really powerful, but the most they could really cast was 5 because of how it worked. And yes, when they cast it, it was, they had to redo it, but yeah. Plus, the other difference is in that game world is, well, you might, that's only one part of your character. That's only one part of the characters in there. One of the main casters in the stories, he was also an accomplished swordsman, right? He was good with his blade, and he wasn't just a weak old wizard who could only cast 4 spells and that's it, or 5, and he's done for the day and has nothing else to offer. So the characters are different. So if you had something more like that in your game, then Vancian may work better. But with D&D, you're a squishy wizard who's at first level. When you're done casting your first level spell, you got to hide behind the fighter's coattails. And I know a lot of people will say, well, that's how it's supposed to be. Well, that's stupid.
Well, look, I'm not going to say it's stupid. It's a way to play. We did it. You can do it. I'm not interested. I don't necessarily want my wizards to be wielding swords like a regular fighter, even though you could argue anybody could use a sword to be whatever.
It's just another skill.
I like my wizards more stuck into David Wills asked, Dying Earth didn't have spell slots divided by spell level. You just had like headspace and crammed. Yeah, I think so.
But the reason I say the most powerful caster there seemed like he only had 5 spells is because they would say, several times throughout the text, they would say, well, the most I can cast are 5 different spells. So I got to make sure I select really good ones.
Yeah. And,
now, not that they know, but that they can cast at one time.
But I do think D&D up through 3rd edition, even with the Vancian, if you can make it through the low levels, and that's sometimes a big if, not always, you usually could. Well, TSR was pretty tough. But if you did, Wizards around 5th, 6th level, once they got Fireball, things changed, and you quickly, your spells are so powerful. I get why Gygax kept that as a control feature. In the D&D spell parlance, the actual spells, they were pretty awesome.
Yeah. We got you, David. We got you.
Yeah. And then mapping. I'm not interested in mapping, but to be fair, that's something we didn't hardly do at all. I think
the reason why you don't like it is because you don't want to have to worry about whether the party's lost, and if the party's lost, then they have to figure out where they're at. We did that for a while, but it ended up, to me, I think we all agreed it's kind of a headache.
Yeah. Yeah, and Condor's kind of nailed me. He's got me here. He says, Randy's an old timer who got picky. Randy, I get you. You have a ton of experience running sessions. I can tell just by how you talk. I avoided becoming so picky. The magic system. Yeah, dude, you can. Love
Everybody's different.
love the crap out of Ancient. I don't hate it. I'm searching for this holy grail, to be honest with you, just for me. The game that's perfect. I'm going to make Mud Sword, codename. And when I say Joe's going to have participate as much as he wants. He might even do most of it. He might get a wild hair and say, I'm doing it. Whatever. We're going to make this game, and it's going to be what it's going to be. But as long as I'm creating part of it, it's going to do stuff that I want it to do. And I want the wizards to be cool. I want them to have the ability. I don't care about mapping. I would love to create a different mechanic for people to be able to come lost in dungeons, even if it is kind of new school. I just don't want to go. So you go 30 feet, wait for the player to draw. Even if they just draw a line map, it's not my thing. Yeah, I agree, Condor. We're all, yeah, he created his own game. We're all searching for that holy grail. Because for years I wasn't interested. I mean, forever. And honestly, even now, it sounds daunting, but I would love to really build it from the ground up. David Gwill told me last week, just find a game you mostly like and then bend it to your will. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that we agree mostly on these, the not likes. We already talked about henchmen and our differences on that. Spell segments and weapon speed, they can be done way differently. It's more on the player's end and not on the DM's end. Like the monsters will have resistances, damage reduction, and stuff like that you know about. You don't have to worry about weapon speed, except you could have it instead of the very fiddly way that old D&D does it or AD&D does it. You can have a smaller number of factors, and it's on the players, right? You're casting a 20th level spell. Oh, it takes a long time to cast. Well, I'll let you know when I'm done. So as long as everybody knows that there is that going on, and you can trust your players, all you have to do is say, "Here's your information," and you don't have to worry about it,
right?
Because you're playing monsters.
Yeah.
And that's monsters, then you don't worry about it.
And that's it too. I want to worry about my side of the screen. I don't want to worry about yours. And if you can handle it, that's great. If not, I don't want it to be there.
Right. We talked about the saving throws. Vancian, everybody knows that Joe doesn't like Vancian magic because Vancian magic is stupid.
Oh, where are you at? Rumble? No.
No. I'm mumbling that because it's true. Okay, so
what do you not like? Are there other things you don't like?
We talked zero to hero. Did you mention that?
No, that's my like stuff that I like.
Okay.
I haven't done like stuff yet.
I don't like zero to hero where you're poor. You have, where zero means you have 1 hit point, like you said. You have 1 hit point. You have a copper piece, and you're naked. You start that way, and then you go from there. I don't like. I'm being a little bit facetious, but when you are zero to the point where you're incompetent at adventuring, it's kind of silly, right?
Yeah.
And you're incompetent. Hey, your master says, "Hey, you're good to go." You go out there. Hey, this doesn't work. I'm swinging, but I'm not hitting anything. What are you doing?
Right.
You're good to go, son. Go out there and kill a bunch of monsters. And you come back and you say, "I died 15 times because you showed me all the wrong stuff." And the wizard goes out there, "Dude, I can only cast 1 spell." Hey, you got to start somewhere, son. I mean, it's kind of stupid in my opinion.
Yeah, with the if you want to, we don't want to get off on this because I don't want to go this way. This is not totally fair, but I feel like
that's zero.
Right.
I think the zero should be in concept as far as your place in the world, in the game world. Nobody knows who you are. You're not important. You're not. You may be competent, but not all that powerful. That's where I would say, no, you're not. No. A freaking cat can come and beat you up.
Not an old DS, not an old D&D. You're not.
No. You're in some ways, sure.
Yeah, but not
if you generate your character and you get the equipment they say you get. Some DMs say you don't get any equipment, but then fine. But many commoners can beat you in the head.
Yeah. What about I guess, was there
And
anything else
the
you
low
didn't like?
level cap. That's the other part about OSR I
Ah,
don't like. The
yeah.
low max level cap. I mean, it's not low. 11th level isn't low, but it's low
Hmm.
compared in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like characters start out competent. I'd like them to feel like the world is still dangerous. I would like them not to get killed by the first 4 orcs that they fight. Party of 6 characters, half of them go down fighting 4 plain vanilla orcs or goblins. I'd like them to, you know, be worried about fighting 10 or 15 of them, but I don't know. Legion says, remind him to never run a game for Joe. 0 to 0.1, no money for PCs. Meat grind the PCs. Yeah. Get him, Legion.
What the PCs are for in these kinds of games is you're feeding the dungeon because most of them don't come back.
Right. Anything else you can think of, Joe, that you personally?
No, I think we covered the don't like part. We probably should have done like first because that's
Right.
the polite way to do things, but we did
It
the
is.
don't like because we're being disagreeable.
We are. I like disagreeability. Jordan Peterson says that's a good quality, fairly disagreeable. I do. This is kind of a weird thing. It has nothing to do with OSR, but this is just a comment. I just want to say it, probably to irk people.
You're trying to irk me.
I like the Quantum Ogre. Here's why I like it. You will never know. Joe has never known when I've done the Quantum Ogre. No one will ever know, and my prep doesn't get wasted. It doesn't mean I do it all the time. I did not do it back in the Hyperborea last session when I wanted to. I really wanted to, and I didn't do it. So I'm inclined to let that be a thing. I'm good with that. I think it's a waste when you make crap and it doesn't get used. I'm not saying I got to pigeonhole it all, but if it can reasonably, if you're like, I turned left, I turned right, and you didn't think about them turning left, but you did have the right one, and it doesn't really make a difference, let it be the left one. It doesn't matter. Get them to the encounter. I'm not saying do it all the time, but in and of itself, it is not bad. It can be overused.
Okay. The counterpoint I'm going to make is, and I will agree with you, if that encounter and if the structure of your adventure is a tighter story, and if that encounter is part of the story, or I made this encounter and I like it, I want to use it, and you make it part of the story, I can understand what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't think players should ever see it, and I think actually for most DMs it's nearly impossible. Most players will never see it.
That's true. That can be true. I'm just saying, I've always said the Quantum Ogre is lazy.
I don't disagree.
Because
I do not disagree.
Right. I just I if I ran a game, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we talked about
I'm not going to run a game where it's really story focused. Mm-hmm. My game's going to be player focused.
Yes.
So,
what
players do, the players are going to say, I'm going to go over here, and then I'll have stuff for them. It's going to be quantum-ish because there's going to be randomness built in. So, there's going to be places, there's going to be maybe some set pieces in some areas, but a lot of it's going to be random. So you can call that quantum-ish.
Yeah. Ryan's hitting the sack, dude. Or the little man's hitting the sack. So good night, Ryan David. Condor,
little man debate.
Condor, I want to modify his statement. He says, Randy, if the experience was good for the players, you did it right. And here's what I find. An encounter that I spent time on, they're going to they're probably going to, I don't mean to be tooting my own horn all the time, but I'm pretty decent at this. I've been doing this for a while. And as far as D&D goes, they're going to have a good time. And so if I make them do that encounter, so what? Especially if you're in the wilderness, it doesn't matter. If you're in the wilderness trekking around, I can just make something happen because it'll be cool. And I don't think that's not lazy. That's trying to help. But I can see what you're saying. If every time I just craft these few encounters, no matter where you go, the maze always ends to wherever you're at. Yeah, it does feel weak. What about feats? The idea of feats, I think I like, but I want them much more limited than 3.5.
Well,
3.5 got
it's
crazy.
okay. Everything third edition going forward, maybe not fifth edition. Fifth edition's kind of weak sauce,
Yeah.
but third edition, 3.5 Pathfinder, that paradigm
Mhm.
had too much. Had too
Too
many
much.
spells, too many classes, too many feats.
Hmm.
Um, it had what it didn't have too much of is setting. It had lots of setting, and that's great because
Hmm.
lots of people can find the parts that they like.
Hmm.
But way too much of everything else.
Hmm.
You don't need 10,000 spells.
No, you do not. That leads to the next thing too. I would like less number of spells. Just
Right.
period. I don't. I think 13th age may be a little thin, but they mostly got it. And summoning drives me up a wall. Summoning one, summoning two, monster summoning three. Forget that. Just make it. If you're going to use it, which I don't like that either. Really, I'm not a big fan of summoning. I don't like summoner PCs. Actually, I put that in the wrong spot. I think summoners are best for the bad guys. Um,
Litter the battlefield for the players. Yeah,
yeah,
I get
yeah.
that.
I mean, I just don't think it's all that great. I experienced it.
It's kind of when the players do it, they're kind of in a way stealing the DM's thunder, kind of. But again, I think what it also can do is that if that summoner brings out a bunch of monsters, what you thought was an encounter that would be challenging, it's turned into you know, it's turned opposite, or it might just become a slog because if the player of the summoner isn't doing their job, then they can just slow the combat down to a grinding halt, and then it not be fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Mr. Bruce says something. I think he's being a little snarky. He says, "Did you hear about the adventure pass that Paizo's been making a thing since 2007?" Yeah, Randy's got about the first 15 or 20 of them complete. I did, and I played through one mostly. They don't suck, but they're also a little formulaic. It's a good formula,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, they're not bad.
And they're not bad. We've played through many of them. Right. So
David Gwill's heading out before he bounces. He says he wants to point us one more time to Delvers. It may solve my issues. Yeah, I need to dig in there. We got sidetracked. Delvers is on the short list, brother. I need to play that crazy game. I bought it and it's beautiful. So yeah,
okay,
so yeah,
before we get too much into the likes,
yeah.
how about you do all the recommend?
Your
I've
voice.
got to take the doggies out.
Hold on. I do all the what,
I've
Joe?
got to take.
I
You do
lost
all
you.
the likes. Do all the.
Okay.
Tell the people to
Sure.
do the things, and I will take the doggies out to do their thing.
Okay. Everybody do the subscribe, like. I don't know if I have the banners, do I? What is this? He's left me foolishly. That's not it. I don't have the cool thing, guys. Where's the cool pictures? Is this it? No. Hold on, guys. This is it. Yeah, baby. Subscribe. Look at me run StreamYard like a boss. Yeah, Joe went to take the doggies out. Do all the likes. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us how cool we are. Tell us how much we suck. That's fun too. Um, Bruce, I have all the first edition Adventure Pass. They can be ported. Yes, they can. They're not horrible. They're not. I like them. Um, but see. Oh, ticket count. Flatty wants to know what is the count. Last I looked, it said 15 on the tabletop events. I don't think that's right though, because one of my buddies said he bought it this week. He said he was number 18. Um, thanks, Darth. He says keep hitting all the buttons. I'll eventually get it right. I'm gonna try to do this smoothly. It's under the brand tab, and roll on down. Subscribe. Do that again. That's cool. Look at me. Subscribe. Do it. So yeah. But Flatty, to answer your question, I'm betting we're at 18, and I'm also betting it's happening. I don't see it not happening. I think at this point it's a go. We're talking about Big Geek Con, September 22nd and 23rd in Saginaw, Michigan. We're going to be having a convention. My buddy Joe and I will be there. I just had a nugget of an idea today. I meant to write it down, so I'm going to do it right now. Have any of you guys heard? I'm not sure this will happen. Have you heard of the Iron GM that was done back in the day in Gen Con? We may do something like that if we have enough people. Um, yeah. I think Flady, I'm feeling about 95% confident right now. I think it's going to happen. I feel like with 15 people, I can probably make a go of it. Oh, Condor, you're out of here. Later, bro. You liked and subbed. Thank you, sir. Take care. We try to chat with everybody. Sometimes I chat too much and don't get to the topic. But that's only because you guys are awesome. Let's see here. And we'd love to see all of you at Saginaw, Michigan, or Big Geek Con. Cabin Con too. We ain't got enough room for all you guys. Good night, Condor. All right, so let's see. What else? I think I had mentioned before, but I will again. So the tickets are $30 for 2 days, September 22nd, 23rd, Big Geek Con, 4 Points Hotel, Saginaw. You can check it out at Tabletop Events. Our men ask, is the Iron GM a way to get women into the hobby? Ironing is not the way, I think. No, if you've never heard of it, the Iron GM contest, this is how I've heard it has been run, and I saw a little bit of it one time at Gen Con. So you get all the DMs together and all the players, ideally, probably at Big Geek Con, we'd get every player that's there. And all the DMs, we would sit down. Somebody would decide, probably me and Joe, what the topic is. And we'd give the DMs 1 hour to write an adventure for random players sitting at their table. The players, some versions of this, the DM gets to pick. So we might say, write an adventure that has a magical staff, an uncurable disease, and weir rats in it. So you give them 3 things, and each DM gets those 3 topics. You give them an hour to prep while the players roll their characters up. In some situations, the rule system is already determined. Some let each GM determine the rule system, but the players have to roll their characters. And while the players are rolling their characters, the DM writes the adventure, and then you go. Dude, Darth, he not only has his Big Geek Con pass, but he's already booked his room for the weekend. It's happening, son. If Darth and Flady are there, you have to believe it. Flady, when you have time, check your PayPal tickets gifted. Oh, thank you, sir. I will do that. In fact, I'll write it down. PayPal tickets gifted. You are a prince among men. That is cool. I really want people to come. Bruce has given us a ticket or so. I bought an extra. I want to give these away, the 150th episode. But it's going to be a good time. I've got a lot of my buddies are talking about running games for it. May have a guy do a little magic tournament. We may have some other stuff. So hopefully it'll be fun. 2 days filled with gaming. If you can get a hotel room, do it. It will possibly expand our space. I think it's going to be fun. I want to run a bunch of games, but I also know I got to make sure things are happening. But I imagine after I went to VentureCon last year in July, we had 27 people total over the 2 or 3 days, 3 days, I think. It was pretty chill and it was fun. So I want this to be the same kind of experience. I will have the games listed. I will post it on Big Geek Emporium once people give me their games. I'll probably be an old curmudgeon and ask that you send me the game you want to run on email. I'll give that probably, if not next week, in a couple of weeks, and it'll be pretty cool. Flady says he expects an authentic sword made out of real mud. Truth, dude. That'd be a great prize for a tournament, wouldn't it? You get the actual mud sword. Oh, dude, you got me thinking now. Flady, you're giving me so many ideas, dude. A real and true mud sword. Sounds too good to be true. So that would be awesome. Martin says you can get one if it rains that weekend. Yeah. Martinson will be there. Our buddy Larry Elliott, who's not on tonight, I don't think, probably just listening or not. He'll be there. Tim Scott's been on the podcast, or at least in the chat. He'll be there, him and his family. I hope a lot of my buddies come. It'd be great to have. I would love it if 40 people showed up. I mean, it'd be great. So it's $30. That's for 2 days of gaming. $40 at the door, though. We are going to gouge you if you just show up. So, yeah, Michigan mud is the best. That's the rumor. I have to say that after a good rain shower, I step out back in my yard, and the mud is quality here. It's very quality. I've yet to forge a sword from it, but that's the plan. So, yeah, get your tickets early, and I think it's on, Flady. I don't think I'm talking out my butt when I say I'm going to see you September 22nd, 23rd, God willing, in Saginaw. We're going to be rolling some dice, and I'm basically going to be killing a lot of characters. It's going to be fun. So here's your gold piece. Here's your sword. Save or die. That's how it's going to be. So good times. Hold on for a second. Oh, yeah, look at that. Just in time. Give me a second here, Joseph.
No.
I can still talk, but you got to let me be for a second.
No seconds.
Just a second.
All right. Not even a handoff. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be talking about.
Oh, dude, we're back. I didn't want to leave Joe hanging. He doesn't have the kind of extemporaneous skills that I have. So,
well, I have no idea where we're going. So
I was babbling.
You took your hat. You took your hat off. Your hat off.
Yeah, my hat off. Yeah, because I was just feeling a little warm. Darth is coming, dude. Got his tickets. Got his hotel room. Lady's coming. It's going to be awesome.
Good deal. Well, maybe I should try to do a count here.
He asked about that.
When did he get them?
Who, Flady? Darth? I don't know. I checked the other day. It only said 15, but one of our friends said he was the 18th ticket. I said that too. Something's wrong there.
Let's see. Oh, wrong one.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. I got to bounce some of these ideas off Joe. I think he would like the Iron GM competition. If we get enough GMs, we might do that one slot. I would love to be a part of that. I might let Joe be the one that picks the three. Darth was 11. Flady was early, dude. He might have got.
Okay, that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15.
That's it? People. I'm talking about our people. So.
Yep.
Get on them, Martinson.
The last one that was purchased was on the 29th
of
June.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. I know one of our buddy, Larry N., him and his 2 boys are coming. So that's 3 tickets more. So that's what he said. So.
Darth says 11. Who said they were number 18?
Jeff S., our buddy. He could have sworn he was number 18, he said.
Well, 15.
I don't know. So 15, soon to be 18. Yeah. So anyway, Darth said check out the PayPal gift tickets. He's done that. So our man is having some trouble. He has a receipt.
Oh, no. Nobody's got badge numbers yet.
Oh, no badge.
We haven't set up badges yet.
Yeah. We need to get that done, don't we?
Yeah.
Are we going to do just electronic badges and have them go flash them with a phone or something? Or are we going to do physical badges? We got to mail those out, though. That may not be great.
Well, what we might do is just give them out at the door.
There you go.
All right. So we were in the do like stuff.
Yeah, and I was about in the middle. Do you want to pick up what you like, the things you like in a game?
Let's see.
Or do you want me to do?
Mine are a bit more general. So and it's shorter. So let me go ahead and I'll do mine.
Yeah, do it.
So my list is more like the themes, like dangerous environments, right? OSR, old school games, your environment you're playing in is dangerous. I know that slightly contradicts my don't like to be completely powerless at first level, but I do like a challenge, and I like the idea that adventuring is dangerous.
Yep.
Not that, yeah, we're going to win, which
Yeah.
is what 13th Age pretty much is.
It kind of is. And I think being dangerous doesn't mean you're going to stub your toe and die because you have 1 hit point.
Right, right. There's different. I mean, that's dangerous, but that's extreme.
Yep.
And not just the dungeon itself, the overall world environment. It's like living is a dangerous thing. Adventuring is a dangerous thing. When you leave your hometown, Frodo.
Yep.
Right
on.
You never know what's going to happen. The other thing is, old school isn't like modern games where there's 50 billion races and everybody gets along just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Game world should not be cosmopolitan.
Well, I don't want mine to be. Mine to be, yeah.
Right. I don't care for that. And that just means you don't have to go anywhere to meet anybody that's different. You can just, stick your head outside your door, look down the street, and there's a half ogre, an elf, a dwarf, a dragon kin, and everything else you can think of. Nah. I really don't care for that. In fact, I'm more in love with all human campaign.
I know you are.
And maybe have some way to divide out what some of the other races have in some special way for the humans, and just so everybody be people and not have any distinctions like that. But that's me.
Yeah, I guess for me, I would like to have the elf, the dwarf, and the halfling at least, or some other, maybe 3 or 4 of the races. But I want them to be. I have been convinced I want an elf, at least on paper. Even if you can't play like a truly alien race, it's hard to get into that mindset. I want them to feel very alien when you read about them on the paper. I want elves to be very different from humans, so much so that you can't even envision them procreating with a human.
Right.
Even if you allow it, it just seems, wow, that's weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And the started in 3rd edition, maybe somewhat before that, but not really. Magic item economy.
Yep.
What I like about the OSR is you don't have that.
Right.
So what you get is what you get. You might be able to do some trades. You might be able to sell, but it's not part of the overall economy. You have to go to like the black market or to someone will probably be interested in what you're selling. If you're selling stuff that a wizard would like you to find a wizard.
Yep.
You don't just go to the market. It's
Potions
weird.
and scrolls would be okay in a city, or maybe in a specialized potion maker, an alchemist in a small town.
Right.
But they would be kind of expensive. Like he wouldn't. I can't imagine in a small town an alchemist would do much trade in just random magical potions, other than curative types, things that do help the stomach. Things that are more, herbal medicine type things. He would do that would be cheap. But if he were to have some kind of like, true magical potion shop, probably in a bigger town with lots of adventurers coming through. And he might be a wizard himself, just running as a shop. But he wouldn't have anything outside of that. Maybe it's scroll maker, but it's probably not going to be.
But you're not just going to the magic shop. You're going to go see an alchemist.
Correct.
You're going to go see a scribe or a wizard.
Yep.
That makes scrolls, and they may not have any on hand. You'd have to say, "Hey, I need these things. Can you make them for me?" Sure, I have them for you tomorrow or next week or whatever it's going to be.
Only on demand. Potions on demand.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Those are that's what I like about the OSR. It's not cosmopolitan. You don't have a magic item economy. The world is dangerous and challenging for the PCs. Those are the overall things about the OSR that I like. But I'm not sold on a particular rule set.
No, me neither.
So,
I like things I like from the OSR would be like domain play. I kind of miss that. We haven't done that for a long time. I like that as an option. Not that you have to, but like it as an option. Yeah. I really like the nostalgic feel. I'm still in my feels when we're playing. I'm excited to play Hyperborea. I'm excited to play Swords and Wizardry. I'm excited to play the old games, but it's mostly nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I love save or die. I do. I don't
Yeah.
want lots of it, but I do like save or die. There needs to be things that can flat out kill you in one shot, and I'm good
Right.
with that.
Different XP charts you have here.
Yeah, and so that seems to counter man, but I like different XP charts potentially for different classes if we're not going to. I don't want to feel the need to make every class combat equivalent or have a very good role in combat where like they're very effective, they are an important piece of the combat puzzle. They don't have to be that good, or if they are, then maybe experience point different charts could be minimized. But I don't like the numbers. I don't like the hundreds and thousands. Legion made a good one, Legion of Myth. The PCs can do it, the NPCs can do it. So I don't like to have NPC only classes. I'm okay with NPCs who are super specialized, and most player characters would never spend the time becoming good at that.
So if the PCs can do it to the NPCs, the NPCs can do it to the PCs.
Oh, I misread.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So if you're going to have the save or dies, then the the PC should be expecting them, and you should be expecting them.
Yeah.
Or whatever, save or suck, save or die, all that stuff.
Yeah. I've already mentioned my desire for minimal effort and character build for the players. I would like a small amount of some narrative control and freedom for the players. And maybe what I really want is not so much something written into the game, but just something that I'll do at my table. Because right. I want the players to be able to impact. If you come up with a great idea, hey, Randy, wouldn't there be this? I'm like, that sounds good. I'm cool with that sort of thing. Encumbrance and resource tracking, I would like it to be, I'm not sure where I stand on tracking. I mean, we've yet to play a game, say level 1 to 20 in a long time. Will I enjoy tracking every single arrow all the way through? Probably. Encumbrance, we don't do much with. I would sometimes I would like a simplified encumbrance thing, but I do think encumbrance system is important. You got to have something to keep the players honest.
Right. You don't want it to get wonky like video game inventory. You can have tons and tons of gear, and it doesn't show on your little tune on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You could just be wearing a loincloth, and in your inventory, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. You don't want it to be that level of ridiculous, but you may not want to nitpick.
Right.
So there's various systems out there, like the usage die and various other things.
Yeah, it's got its
point
advantages.
Systems.
Yeah. This is interesting because this might go back to what I was kind of pro for. Flady says, I do like NPC only classes for villains. I do in the sense that there can be things that I don't want players to be doing. Like I said before, I don't care for summoning as a player character ability. In general, littering the battlefield, like the Master Summoner from 3rd edition, just got so wearisome. But if it doesn't slow combat down to a crawl where your turn takes 53 times longer than the next guy, not because you're slow, but because you have so much crap to manage, I could probably deal with that. And Necromancers the same way. I'm not a fan of Necromancers. They're bad guys, so I don't know why players really want to play them.
Yeah. Necromancers are the bad guys, like witches, necromancers, people who summon demons, all that stuff.
Bruce has got a great idea for handling encumbrance. You can target areas with area of effect anti-magic, and there's suddenly no more inventory and extra planar bags. Damn it, I love beholders. That is cool. That's a good way to take care of all that extra crap they're carrying around. I think that's great. Joe,
you could say that it just dumps it out, or you could say that it's locked and you can't access it.
I would say it dumps it out in some other plane you're not in.
Yeah. Like the astral.
Yeah.
It's in the astral. Go find it.
Go find it. That would be cold-blooded, but you could do that, I guess.
Well, sure. You could do whatever. You're the DM.
Yeah. I like, you said you didn't like Zero to Hero. I do. Okay. But no.
Zero.
I'm with you. I don't want
the kind of caveats.
I'm with you. I don't like the Zero, Super Zero, but I do like, I haven't in my mind, and I haven't got it on paper yet, a 0 character, to hero moderately quickly, to superhero a little less quickly, to legendary slowly, and then if you want to even go divine. So I'm talking Beck me, right? In terms of the progression. I love that whole possibility of a character's arc to get to that level. I don't want to sit at second level and second level power for a year. I'm not into it. It's not a thing I want to do. Yeah.
Right. Like Flatey says, 0 hero is fine, but not every time.
Legion.
No thanks. No thanks.
Come on.
Because then you are a commoner.
Yeah. 0 off the you have a pitchfork and overalls.
Yeah.
Now go be a man or die trying.
Overall is optional.
Well, if you're a man, you wouldn't wear pants. Yeah. Here we go. What does Bruce ask me? So is 3 years from campaign start to 12th, 13th level acceptable? It's acceptable, but it's not really. If I'm playing a lot, if I know I can, that's part of the problem, Bruce. We're not playing enough and consistently. I don't want to wait
for a good beat on it.
I don't want a New Year's resolution, but I want to commit to something, and I'd like to have my game that I'm playing and trying to piecemeal, not Mud Sword, but whatever game I'm really into. I would love to have it by the new year, after we've tried a variety of games. But I also don't want to quit Hyperborea. I mean, I might find Hyperborea as my jam, and I want to stick with it. So, but I don't think so. I don't know. I don't see my game yet that I really want. I don't know. We'll see. That's yeah, dude. Bruce is I get it, dude. Every 2 weeks, 16 hours. You're the man. That's playing. That's awesome. You do you, brother. I think I would, if I played 3 years. No, I can tell you, I played 3 years, 3.5. That was the length of my Seven Spheres campaign. We went level 1. Actually, we might have started at 4th. Level 4 to like 30th. So, but I did a lot of milestone leveling. I didn't use XP. You're probably using XP. So, yeah, read the Hyperborean books. Are you talking about the novels, Jack? Or are you talking about the RPG? I've read the core book, the player's book. I've not got all the way through the DM's book, if that's what you mean. So, what do you think? It's
I like characters that are competent.
Yeah.
They're not heroes, but they're competent. First level heroes, first level characters in D&D are not.
No. I would say
in something. They need to be competent in something. They don't need to be competent in all of their class, whatever all the things that their classes do. They need to be competent in something.
Look at Mark Markham. I played a mostly once a week modified 5e online game from October 2022 until now. Characters at level 6 using milestone. Whoa. That's pretty slow, dude. No, it's not. October 22 is not that slow.
No.
Yeah. I don't hate milestone. I don't know. Milestone defeats the purpose of different experience point charts. So I'm not sure where I stand with that. Right now, it's cool. I know I'm going to be leveling you guys faster in Hyperborea. I can't wait around, dude. I can't wait around for that. So, yeah, I agree. Darth, I believe that all PCs need to be a viable character. And I do.
That is a subjective term.
Correct.
Because viable to you and Randy and me might mean 3 different things.
I think
some folks say viable, 1 hit point characters are viable. Whatever.
Yeah,
they're viable. They are viable if you run around and hide behind everybody's coattails for a long time and don't actually do anything.
A first level wizard doesn't need to be Doctor Strange.
No.
But he can't be he needs to at least be Presto. I mean, Presto at least cast magic pretty consistently. You know what I'm saying? Even if it sucked. I just want a character to be able to do stuff. I get it, Legion, but those situations are pretty. Joe would argue they're boring. Even an off-the-farm game, characters are viable. The DM simply puts them in situations they can handle. DMs are to challenge PCs, not kill or cater to them. Oh, well. It's up to you. I want to do
So
cool.
instead of having the PCs capable at their job, you have a soft world for them to start out in on purpose. So I don't care for that.
I don't know if it's soft. I,
But that's kind of what he said there.
no, not really. I think I know what he's saying. I think you can. He calls. No, he's not Legion. But I think you can be. I get what's the kid saying. I feel you, Legion. I think it's kind of interesting to start as dirt farmers and make your way out in the world, but it's got to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fast. I've played
Well,
dirt
the other
farmers
thing is
before.
it's
It's got to
not
be
every time I play I want to start as a dirt farmer.
right. It'd be nice to start out with a little
Yeah,
bit of
yeah,
punch sometimes.
yeah.
But it would be cooler to me to go dirt farmer to hero to superhero to legendary to divine to a god. So
And then this is the other thing. A lot of people here are into story. This is the story of my character from dirt farmer to blah blah blah. Not every story starts as a dirt farmer. Not every hero starts as a dirt farmer.
no,
Not every story needs that. You might like that. I don't. So this is all opinion. That's cool.
this is where I think Legion is because Mercer Core says it's just a challenging, overcoming situation. Start. Yeah, I think you can do that. I think you can play turds, and the DM can say, "Oh my gosh, you have to beat this three hit point dire rat. Oh my, how are we going to beat this thing?"
Right.
That's sort of that's the
Fire
thing.
rats. Yay.
Yeah, I think.
Hey,
Joe,
we gotta go in the basement of the inn and beat the rats up.
I think I could, and I'm sure Legion could, have an adventure where you play a douchebag, and it would be interesting. But I get that you don't want to do it all the time. No matter how cool I set the adventure up, no matter how interesting and different, you're really like, man, I'd like to just be able to kick in the door and pound something in its face. Not every something,
Right.
but maybe the low level somethings I can just completely headlock and throw to the ground and make them beg for mercy. Because and I guess it all depends on what you want. I mean, I've played with this man for 40 years. I know what he likes. He wants to be fairly competent. He doesn't have to be a superhero, but he wants to get there. He wants to get to total badassery.
Yeah.
But I feel you. I do too. It doesn't have to be.
He's laughing about that.
Yeah, kitten. Legion says first adventure needs to be rescue a kitten from a tree. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes adventure is motivated out of I need to get out of town because I work on a dirt farm and I don't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's not every adventure's motivation to start adventuring.
No.
That's kind of silly.
Dude, even back in the TSR days, I remember starting campaigns at 7th level. We did that a couple of times. It was cool. We had a good time. So, yeah. Mercer Core. Who's stealing all the eggs? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Oh, no. We got to figure that out.
Hey, Bubba, go find out who's stealing our eggs. Oh, it's orcs. I got to go adventure now.
Oh, no. Oh, it's a fox. A fox. You know it has 2 hit points, and it does 2 points of damage. My wizard could die.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That house cat looks at you sideways, you're going to fall over dead.
So, to kind of put a bow on this subject, do you consider yourself OSR, Joe?
Like I said, theme-wise.
Theme-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
for the most part.
At best,
the
I'm back.
zero dirt farmer to hero, not so much. But apart from that, yeah, theme-wise.
I think
or as a rule set.
Yeah, to kind of put a little props to the Sparkle Trolls. I think I identify with the OSR people. I mean, they feel like my people, right?
Right.
Yeah, I really like these guys, and I'm not saying all these guys here are OSR guys, but I'm kind of a different kind of. I want some newer mechanics. I feel like there's better ways to do things, and I want to play high level badassery sometimes. I don't want it just to be low level stuff. So, yeah. Mercer Core says Team Thespians for the win. Okay.
Another one of my favoriteest things.
Dude, this is a story. Bruce says the worst PC I ever DM'd for was the one Kathy rolled up. I don't know Kathy. She was maybe his wife. She was the daughter of a drunk and abused regularly. She escaped home to 10 Bar 30 miles away. Then she murdered a noble. That sounds like my wife's characters. She's always got some kind of theme like that.
Your wife likes to be a secret princess.
She does.
That she doesn't know about.
Right.
That she's told you that she doesn't know about.
She likes to have
is odd. But that's her thing.
Here's what she really likes. Her first character she ever played was in a Mask of the Red Death Ravenloft setting, and she played a woman from a plantation who ran away with a black slave, and her family was very racist, and that was her background. It didn't, and he got killed, so she left and started adventuring, and she was a healer, and she loves that thick story stuff. So, I think Joe would agree. Legion says you should play Palladium. It front loads the characters.
Oh, they don't see. They start out a little bit extra powerful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
The Rifts does, but Palladium in general.
Palladium does too.
Oh, I've never read
Palladium does too. Yeah. Not as, but they definitely do.
Oh, what would you think of this? Look at Darth's idea. I'm thinking of starting a game where the PCs all die at the start. Then we jump back like 5 years and they start off in that adventure. Joe would love that. He loves that. So I know what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to kill you.
Okay. All right. Page 1, you're all dead. And then the next page is a supernatural special. 5 years ago.
Supernatural, the TV series. Now,
they did that a lot.
Darth, I did something one of the early cabin cons where I had the characters, I think I may have said this once, where they were resurrected and they were heroes of old. And the world had gotten quote unquote soft. There was like nobody very high level anymore. They found a scroll of resurrection and they managed to resurrect this whole group of 12th level characters. And you guys, and your mission was to defeat this great evil. And so they went to go do it. I don't mean like a long term, just a single. We got to stop this bad dude. And the PCs killed him. And then this group of clerics that raised them turned on them and wanted to put him back in the coffins. They said, "It's not your time. This is wrong. You're supposed to be dead." You remember that, Joe? That was pretty cool. The players didn't go along with it.
Well, like my wife always says, you can never tell. You can make all the stuff you want to make, and then the PCs go off and do a totally different thing.
Oh yeah, no adventurer survives contact with the player characters.
Right.
That's a fact. Well, dude, it's like 9:33. I don't think we should bother with Best of Dragon. What do you think? Or should we?
Should we what?
Should we even bother?
We're at 2 hours, dude.
Yeah, should we even bother with Best of Dragon? Probably not.
Nah, we can skip it. I did make some notes for it, so you wasted my time.
Well, it's okay. We wasted these guys' time spending two shows of it in the last 2 weeks, so we'll waste their time next. Well, next week I'm not going to be here Tuesday of next week. Joe is going to do something else, so probably it'll be a most excellent show. Joe may try to get you should try to get one of the cool daddy-os here to join you. Get Legion, man. We haven't had Legion on our show, have we? No, don't. I want to be here when he's here. He can't be on next week. So.
I think he helped out. I had a impromptu thing or two because when someone actually misses the entire week's show, that's you. You're the one that does that, and then I have to scramble for somebody. And I think Legion helped me out. Bruce has helped me out. A couple of people have helped me out. So
yeah,
all good stuff. Anyway,
you should get Flady. Flady was on Bruce's show last I saw. He might be a regular there. Get Flady on, dude. Bring back some of our, but Legion would be cool. But I want to be here. I want to give Legion a lot of crap. But yeah, if you can get Max on, do it. That'd be cool. So, but I'll be missing.
And I want to thank Flady.
Yeah.
Is it Flady who did this? We just got a donation of $100 for tickets.
Whoa, Flady, dude.
That's all good. Thank you very much. Someone's going to get some free. We have like
two free tickets. Two are spoken for, and there's 2 others. I bought 3, and Bruce bought one.
Yeah, so that's 3, 4, 5. 100 doesn't quite cover 3 tickets, but we'll throw in an extra 20, and that'll be 5.
100 covers 3 tickets.
It doesn't quite cover 4. So
Right.
So we'll go with 3. So 3 tickets, plus your 6 tickets to give away. So 6 plus 15, that's 21. So we have to.
Joe is frozen. He has to become unfrozen before he can talk anymore.
I'm not frozen.
You were frozen. Look, Joe can't even move. Look at him. He's moving around like he's a real person.
Actually, it's supposed to be like this.
Yeah. Dude, we should get Bois. Oh, you can't have Bois Van on either. I want to be there for that.
Hey, I can have on whoever I want. You don't have any say. You have no say.
I know. That's all right. Do it, man. Do your thing.
So, yeah. So we're going to end up with enough tickets. As long as the people who get the tickets come. Mm-hmm. We need you to show up.
If we got the money, Lady's already lost his $100. So, dude, it's good. Sure. It's covered. The con is covered. But that means we're probably going to have to like worship Flady at Flady's feet at the con. You know that. We're going to be like holding his drink and feeding him as he games.
I've miscounted.
Yes.
We're at 18.
Yeah.
Your guys has already been bought. So that's counted in the 15.
Yes.
He's covered 3. So that means 18. So we still need 2 to get to 20.
We do, but I think it's happening, dude.
You think we're good? If we think we're good, we're good.
I think we're good. If Flady doing laying all that cash down, it's got to happen. And I was going to kill a lot of player characters, but if Flady plays in my game, I don't think I can kill his character. What do you think?
Sure you can. You can punch him in the nuts and then kill him.
We love you. Pow! You lose. What is this? Legion says, I want to go, but the government won't pay me the money Congress passed. They passed some big geek con money for you?
It's probably something else, but
yeah.
Just because the Congress passes something doesn't mean it's coming anytime soon.
I know, it's a bummer.
Unless it is a bonus or a pay increase for Congress members. That's like immediate.
I made a comment. We got to make this convention badass. It's got to be fun. I want people to come back and say, man, it was great. And it needs to grow to Gen Con status. Here's why. Because we need to shut that thing down. Yes.
Okay, so
yes, we are, if at all possible. We want to make this. We want to make this first one happen, but we want this to be a thing.
Well, in order for it to be repeating, we had to at least make it happen once.
Yeah. So we got to make it happen once. Yeah.
And if we get a lot of people who, there's a lot of people who don't want to make a decision until like the day before. That's fine.
Dude, they'll be like, I'm showing up, Randy. Scoot over. I'll be like, all right.
Give me $40.
$40, you're in.
Yeah.
But dude, that's so cool. Blady's my new favorite. I mean, this week. Next week I'll have somebody else. But right now he's my favorite.
So we'll probably end up having more than 18.
Gender con. That is great, Point Blank, dude. Play on Gen Con. That's awesome. Yeah. Dude, that's so good.
What we should do is make a GenderCon T-shirt as a funny thing. Just have a GenderCon T-shirt.
Point Blank, you coming? You gonna come, dude? Show up, baby.
Get Pat to make a GenderCon T-shirt that we can sell at the.
We should.
We would sell that. We would sell that.
Yes, we would. It would sell out. Yeah. No, but this needs to be I want this to be what's the term? It's not a starting point, but it sounds like that. When an event happens.
Inaugural.
No, that's true. That's true. But there's like dang, I'm losing. I can't think of anything. Yeah, pronoun the RPG, says Flady. Yeah. But yes, just show up, guys. We're going to have fun. We're going to make it fun. I'm going to make Joe have fun dying every round. And there's only going to be, all the pre-gens will be 1 hit point wizards for Joe.
Sure they will. Hit point
first level.
No, 0 level. There are rules for 0 level for D&D.
And Nistel's Magic Aura will be your single spell. They're saying the names that sound good to launch. Epicenter. Don't tell the Red Room. Don't tell them what? GenderCon? They should show up too. I would love to have. Oh, they're coming from a long way though. That'd be really. Well, like I said, I want this to become I want it to be a thing. And we've made Cabin Con work for 17 years, going on 18.
You know what's going to make it awesome is if we just get together.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Play a bunch of games, and then we take a break, hang out, eat food together, and then get back to gaming, and then eat food, and then get back to gaming. Dude, we don't need gimmicks or special guests that, jabber about themselves. We don't need that.
Right.
We just need good gaming and good fellowship, for the lack of a better word.
No, fellowship's a good word.
Bonding, fellowship, eat together, game together, make some memories. That's really all we need. And that'll make it great, because it'll be minus all the junk that a lot of other cons do to try to make it like Gen Con. We don't want it to be Gen Con.
No,
we want it to be our thing.
We want
our thing is playing and eating.
But playing and eating, that's true.
What else do you need?
Right. But I mean, I want it to replace Gen Con. When I say that, I mean, I want this cool thing to be better so no one wants to go.
Now, we could provide what could make it fun is to have maybe a space for people to, if they want to do any kind of live streaming or Legion says, eat together. Well, I'm out.
Dude, me and Max will have lunch together whenever we have to go to con. It has to happen. Even if I have to put a screen over my face, the DM screen, and eat silently.
So,
we got so much to talk about. It ain't funny. But
if people want to live stream or do something of their own right there at the con, you have a little booth area for people to do stuff like that. Yeah.
They say the Wi-Fi is good. I'm going to be the Singularity. Isn't that where the Singularity event, where it all started? This is going to be the Singularity. In a new age of look at this. We don't have high hopes. We have crazy hopes.
One of your plates has been poisoned.
Right. Save or die. Save or play a zero character for the whole con. Oh, dude. That's so cool. Man, I wish they could all make it. Well, Mercer Course
Darth,
next year.
Do you know Legion? Do you know Max? Have you listened to his show?
Yeah.
I think he brings up misophonia at least once a show.
Look.
Because it's a thing.
Flatey gives money, and look what he's asking. My brother might want to do a minis game if that's okay. I don't know.
Gaming. That's
no.
gaming. No,
I can't believe he wants that much. That's asking too.
That's
sure
asking
he
too
can.
much.
Sure he can. I'll carry his minis in and out from his car for him. You better believe it. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Darth told me something about spells. I mentioned Nistel's Magic Aura. He said I can do that. I can do a lot with that spell. So if Darth plays a wizard in my game, he gets no spells.
You can do a lot with it once at first level.
I don't know. He's the one that's talking about last week stealing people's spell books and they never knew it. He copied them and gave it back to them. So that's pretty slick, dude.
Well, so I don't eat anywhere near old Japanese guys. Now, in old kung fu movies, a lot of the eating is with a bowl here and the chopsticks, and they're like, and they're just shoving it in their face. So I can understand that, if that's what you're talking about.
That's funny, because I tend to only eat around old Japanese guys. A bento joint? He walked into a bento joint?
Bento is a bento box where your whole meal is in a kind of like with how they do it at our Chinese place here in Bay City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the little black box with the cover. That's kind of like a bento box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of slurping. Yeah, so
I can understand. He can't. He's got that onomatopoeia thing. What's it called?
Misophonia.
Yeah, misophonia.
If that's what that is that what that one?
It's something like that. Yeah, it's a thing. So I get it.
Yeah.
I actually can't eat unless someone's slurping around me.
Yeah, you love the slurping.
I do. It just kind of makes me hungry.
You're the slurp master.
I am. I'm a bad guy. Yeah, correct. Misophonia. Thanks, Legion. No, it's a thing. I understand.
All right. So I think we have talked about, we've kind of like segued right into Random Geekitude with, we don't have any call-ins or emails to speak of.
And we talked like crazy. Apparently Big GeekCon is going to be the greatest thing since Gen Con. And soon it'll be greater than GenderCon.
Maybe we can work in that tagline, gaming and eating.
Ooh, okay.
We can work on that as a tagline for it.
Yeah. I want to fix this, but I have something like cry havoc and let loose the geeks of bigness, but we can do better than that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right, dude. I think
You want
so.
to take us out?
Yeah, let's scoot on out of here. So, wow. Okay. So anyway, check us out on all the socials. Please like, subscribe, and share us with your friends, even people that hate you or hate us. Share it all. We're on all the social places. You give us a little cash support if you want. PayPal, Streamlabs, Ko-Fi, and Patreon. Our website is www.biggestgeekispodcast.com. Is that www thing even important anymore?
No, just say biggestgeekispodcast.com.
Okay. Email at biggestgeekispodcast.com.
No. Say it now, mister.
What? Say what now?
Lost the thread. Say biggestgeekispodcast.com. I didn't just mean in general. I meant right now.
biggestgeekispodcast.com. Oh, please, yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Big Geek Emporium, where all the action is. Games your way, baby. Come check it out. We don't pull any shenanigans like drive-through. We're not down with that sickness. Great to see all the people. They're super cool. Iron Man asked for some naked bear pics. Iron Man's out. No, I'm just kidding. I think bears are by their default naked, right? They don't come clothed.
Well, only if you consider their fur clothing.
Yes, Mr. Boisvan, that is the World Wide Web. I know it's new to you. You're not an expert electronical gizmo guy like me, so.
But it has been said so many times, it goes without saying at this point.
Right. Okay, anyway, this is Randy.
And this is Joe.
And remember, can't be big like us and be geeks like us. Good night, guys.
And eat like us.
Yes.